Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the delay. We've had some technical difficulties inside the dais here at the City Hall with some microphone issues. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to call the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, April 23rd, 2020 to order. I'd like to introduce Daniel Wright from Jonesville Rural United Methodist Church. He's a youth director. If he'll lead us in our invocation and our pledge. If everyone here will stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Daniel. We missed the invocation. I don't know if you want to.
All right, so let's bow for the invocation. God, we thank you so very much for allowing us to come here, God. We pray that you would bestow your wisdom upon each and every one of our leaders for our community, God. We pray that their families are doing well and that they would make great decisions for our community. We thank you that you have entrusted them to be over such a wonderful community. God, and we just pray that you will continue to be with us in this time of pandemic and in this time of tornado relief, God, and just give the community what they need in this time. And it's in your name, Jesus' name, we do pray and say amen.
Amen. Thank you, Daniel.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too. As everyone's aware, we're still conducting our meetings via electronic means, via Governor Lee's Executive Order number 16. We're staying strong and asking everyone to stay strong, vigilant, and stay at home as well at this point in time. I'm going to pass this over to our attorney, Litchford, and we're having to share a microphone to provide a little more information.
Good evening, council members, mayor. This is a continuation of the executive order issued by Governor Lee in connection with executive order number 16, wherein it was granted the authority for governing bodies to meet via electronic means if there's a determination that's been made that is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the community and the members of the body. This executive order and the state of emergency has continued in place and continues to be in place in light of the COVID-19 virus. And so we would ask Ms. Middleton that the minutes reflect here today that this body has made a determination that in light of the Governor Lee's executive order and the continued state of emergency that exists in light of the pandemic, that this body is meeting electronically to serve those needs and protect the welfare and safety of the community.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton. Here.
Lost. We lost your screen. I moved. We're back. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties. Let's try it again. Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton.
Here.
Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Here.
Councilmember Witt.
Here.
City Manager Dorsey.
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here.
I forgot
Mayor Williams is here. Thank you. All right. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review the consent agenda. That would be the minutes of the April 9th regular council meeting. I will entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Helton and a second by Councilmember Chauncey. Do we have any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Felton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. All right, we'll move to item 5, which is communication of citizens. Since there's no opportunity for live citizen comment during the meeting, any citizen desired to address the city council had an opportunity to submit their comments via email at mayor@eastridgetn.gov from 12:30 to 1:30 today. Please keep in mind that any citizen or business owner may contact the city, the council, or the city manager or myself at any point in time. There was no communications that was sent to the email address, so we will move on to communication of council members. We'll start with Councilmember Cagle. Do you have anything?
The only thing I got to say is I just like to thank all the hard work our city employees did for this tornado things we've had, and to thank them and tell them how much we appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. We'll go to Councilman Chauncey.
I have nothing at this time.
Vice Mayor Hilton.
Yeah, I would like to also say thank you to all the city employees, and please continue to pray for our neighbors, some who have lost so much due to the tornado, flooding, and to COVID-19.
Thank you. Councilmember Witt.
I don't have anything at this time.
All right, thank you. I will go ahead and I'll remind everyone about the T-Dot Belvoir Bridge had actually closed on Monday, so just going to keep reminding people of that. It'll be closed throughout the rest of this year. Also, they'll be starting road work there on Germantown as well, so it's going to be a little difficult if you're traveling on that side of town. Just want to keep that in mind. Same as the other council members and Vice Mayor, want to thank the first responders, the community to come together during both the pandemic and the tornado. We were slightly touched, but still pretty devastating up in the Harris Hills area. So we're thankful that no other lives were lost other than a very few, which is tragic. But I want to thank everyone in our city employees for continuing working through this, and the hard work and the hard work left to do. We have a lot of cleanup still that we've got to address. Another thing I want to mention is Tennessee Governor Bill Lee announced Monday that most of the counties in the state will no longer be under shutdown orders effective May 1st, 2020, with only a few metropolitan counties left to decide when they wish to reopen. One of those counties is Hamilton County. Hamilton County Mayor Jim Copter stated this week that in a press conference that the county plans to reopen on May 1st, and also stated the county will publish a set of guidelines and regulations that people must follow as the county opens. He states that the county plans will follow closely, if not exactly, with the orders from the state to avoid any confusion from county to county and city to city. So we should have those plans from the state and the governor tomorrow, is my understanding from press release. Also, as of yesterday, the Small City Coalition, which we're part of, also announced that we all intend to join Hamilton County and follow Governor Lee's proposed reopening schedule. And the members of that coalition, of course, is East Ridge, Collegedale, Lakeside, Lookout Mountain, Red Bank, Ridgeside, and Saudi Daisy. So I wanted to mention that. Then today at 4 o'clock, just a couple hours ago, Governor Lee had a press conference, and he shared some points. He did confirm tomorrow he will actually have a special press briefing, and he'll share the guidelines that he's going to present out for the state. But he also went ahead and mentioned that starting Monday, restaurants will be able to be open if they can operate at 50% capacity and they follow the guidelines that he's going to be releasing tomorrow. And same for retail locations. They'll start on Wednesday as long as they're able to open with, again, 50% capacity and following the guidelines that he's going to be releasing tomorrow. So I wanted to share that information. That's just hot off the press, and wanted to keep our citizens in our city informed of that. I think that is all that I have. So I will now pass it over to City Manager Dorsey.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to echo what you said about the hard work our employees have done over the last 2 weeks, especially the night of the tornado, and the flash flooding that we had the next day. They went above and beyond, and as you all know, we have excellent employees, and we appreciate their hard work to work through all that. Very, very, very fortunate to have them. In addition to that, we met with Tennessee Emergency Management Agency this morning and talked to them about our cleanup efforts here. Of course, they've been concentrating a lot with Chattanooga and Hamilton County over there in the East Brainerd area. They came out and met with us today. We talked to them about, and they highly encouraged us to literally pick up our own debris. For the amount of debris that we have and the size city we are. They said it will help with the, keeping it within the economy of East Ridge and trying to do the work ourselves. And if we're able to get some part-time people in to help with that, we're looking at that plan on what we can do right now. One thing we found out during the meeting today, though, was that, and we'll discuss that later on in the agenda, it's an item that we had to add today, was Hamilton County has what's called the Disaster Debris Management Plan. And I'll talk more about that at the end, but we need to look at approving that. It inadvertently was not approved back in 2018 when it was drafted by the Emergency Management, and there was input and coordination between all the cities. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The other item I have, as you know, we've started working on our budgets. Diane and I have gotten a lot of the dollars, information in from the various departments. We're in the process of putting that together as we speak. One of our biggest unknowns, obviously, is revenues at this point. So we're waiting to see where we're going to be able to go with those revenues. So we're looking at pretty much a flat budget for this upcoming year, but we're waiting to see how some of the needs and things go. And we'll be ready to present that at our last meeting in May. I just want to bring that up. One other item that I'm dealing with the budget, if you all remember back in March, February, when was the auditor here?
They were here in December.
December, excuse me. And they presented our financial reports. The auditor made it a note to talk about one of the financial issues we have, and that deals with comp time and vacation times. That the way that the city is set up now, dealing with reimbursement and the issuing of comp time and vacation time, is financially unsustainable for the city. And I talked to a few of you all earlier in the year, and I knew this was going to be an issue, and it was something we were bringing up during budget. And well, budget's just starting for us. That's the reason the subject is coming up now. We talked to the department heads. The two big issues that we have that we are looking at for this year to handle, per what the auditors were recommending and talking about, was in comp time. What we do with comp time here is if an employee works overtime, they have been, I want to say given the choice, but for a lot of them, they have had the choice of whether to be paid the cash, time and a half on that paycheck, or to have it banked as comp time. So you get an hour and a half of comp time for every hour of overtime. And you would build that up, and then you could use it later. The problem with all of that is we have some employees that have upwards of 500 hours of comp time. Okay, how many months of it is that? That is, well, there's 40, 80 hours a month,
Yeah.
right? So you're looking at 3 or 4 months just of comp time that is out there on the books. And if an employee, and this comp time just keeps going. If this comp time was earned in 2013, and just for dollars, if an employee was making $15 an hour at that point, and in 2020 they're making $19 an hour at that point, just hypothetically, you're paying $19 an hour for hours that were earned back in 2015, 16, 17 at lower hours, number one. Number two, this creates a debt on our books that we have to deal with. Within the police department, through March 31st, just comp time now, we have over $51,688 in comp time that's owed to police department employees only. Like I said, we have a couple employees that are over 400 hours. Fire department, we owe in comp time $67,222. We have one employee that has over 500 hours of comp time, of just comp time.
That would be 12 and a half weeks.
So that's almost a half a year, right there. Those numbers are on our books. And those numbers aren't going away, you're just kicking the can down the road. So one thing we have looked at doing, and remember, I want to make it perfectly clear, I'm not taking a dime out of anybody's pocket. I want to say that again. I'm not taking a dime out of anyone's pocket. All we're doing is we're stopping the comp time, and when the employees work overtime, they will be paid time and a half cash. It'll be on that paycheck. We are no longer going to bank compensatory time for these employees. They will get the cash just like they would the other way. The other problem we have with using comp time is if you had, what would you say, someone had almost 5.5 months of comp time?
Is that 12 and a half?
What if that employee takes off a few weeks? Guess what? You're having to pay somebody overtime to work his shift while he's off on comp time because he used the comp time for getting the overtime to begin with. Follow that train. It's one of those things where we have an issue where you're doubling up on overtime to take care of someone that has comp time. That's in addition to vacation that we have. So what our plan is to, like I said, we froze comp time. And this will come out more in the budget process, obviously. Our plan is to pay off this comp time before the end of the year. And in addition, I'm going to talk about vacation here in a second, but those two numbers I just mentioned are almost $130,000, roughly, $120,000, $130,000 just in compensatory time. That's just fire and police. There's probably another 10 to 15 and the whole rest of the city combined in comp time. I could be off a little on that, but it's somewhere in that area.
So if you look at our audit, which I don't know if I have something to do, and.
You can speak up because you don't have a mic.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, on our audit, it shows in compensated absences, $650,000 that is owed to employees for leave and comp time. And that is listed as a debt because we owe it to an employee. So every year it's getting bigger, and it is reflected also when they go out when they review our duty rating every year. They look at that also because it is a debt that we owe. So it's growing every year.
And you have to remember, as you all know, we had employee leave just a few months ago. We had to pay that person $20,000 gross just because of all this time that was built up. $20,000 just for that one employee. We had to amend the budget for that one employee. Those are the issues on comp. I've been asked, well, isn't there another way you could extend the comp time and do all this? The point is, every time someone at this point uses comp time, someone's having to backfill that position while that person's not there. It's one thing when you have it planned out for vacation, because everybody earns vacation every year, but comp time is a whole other animal. That's a very financially irresponsible item that we have in our audit right now, that the auditors say we need to take care of, and it's budget time, so that's one of the items that we're looking at taking care of. To pay that out, when we get into the budget, we'll talk about that. We're going to have to use a one-time use of fund balance to get that off the books, and it's gone. It will be gone forever off our books. Because right now, every year, that number gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Even if you don't touch it, it gets bigger and bigger. The second item deals with vacation time over 320 hours. As you know, there was, and correct me if I misspeak, Janet, on some of this. There has been the assumption that those before 2012 have a 320-hour vacation time cap, and any hours that are over that, they're paid back, like leave buyback. Anyone after 2012, they've been allowed to accumulate as many vacation hours as they want. And I was told that's what was put in. Supposedly council back then didn't think about part of this when they wrote it. I don't know, was it here? You can't say anything in the minutes about it. That really talks about the issue. Doing my research on this, Our goal is to have 320 hours in there for vacation time. That's 2 months. That's a good cushion for employees to be able to have in addition to the vacation they use every year in case something comes up. I use vacation, I'm sorry, it's personal time off. Because it includes sick and vacation and here are put together as one item. So excuse me, I keep saying vacation. So the personal time off, they're able to accumulate, like I said, 2 extra months of personal time if things come up that they need to use for emergencies or anything else related to this, on top of what they use every year. The problem I found out when I went back and looked at the ordinance from 2012, it talks about the city council provided that all employees hired on or after July 1st, 2012, those employees shall not have the right to sell any accumulated leave to the city of East Ridge under the provisions of ordinance number 760, section 4219. So basically, as you all know, they cut off the leave buyback program as of July 2012. The first problem with this ordinance is that it says it's all under the provisions of ordinance 760. I pull ordinance 760, it deals with sanitation fees. It doesn't deal anything with personnel. That's something we got to fix. There's an error there. Number 2, it's really supposed to be ordinance 761. Okay? If you go to ordinance 761, which amends Title 4, the section says, paid leave may be accumulated to a maximum of 320 hours. Employees shall be compensated on an annual basis at their anniversary of employment for all hours accumulated above 320. Okay? That's what it says in section 4-219. This ordinance, if you consider it, was really ordinance 760. The first ordinance, 918, all it said is that employees hired after July 1st, 2012 could not sell back accumulated leave. I can find nowhere where the 320 maximum went away for employees after July 1st, 2012. Nowhere. But that was the practice after July 1st. We have one employee, like I said, I haven't said this yet, we have one employee that has 1,000 hours of personal time. 1,000 hours. That is almost half a year. It is. It's like 5 months and whatever. Yeah, well, because 1040 is half a year. So they have that much vacation time built up. And I see nowhere where they're allowed to do that. So the other issue we have to take care of to fix this problem, and Jen is still researching just to make sure there's nothing I missed. Because either way, we need to take care of putting a cap on this. But from what I've read, the cap never went away. So how the city started doing it, I don't know. We need to get the cap back down to 320 where the ordinance says it's supposed to be. That will cost the city, to get it back to 320 as of March 31st, that'll cost $32,388 to get it back. So the cap's at 320. So in the future, they have that 320 cap to be able to use for whatever they need in addition to their regular personal time off, all during the years, for vacations, for emergencies, and things like that. Neither one of these, I'm going to stress it again, is taking a dime out of anybody's pocket. It's not balancing the budget on the back of somebody else. Nothing is taking a dime out of anybody's pocket. I'm just getting rid of some of the city's liabilities which should have been taken care of a long, long time ago. That's all I'm doing here. For those that have comp time, I know they like the fact of being able to use it like vacation. It hurts with staffing. It hurts in these areas. It has that huge liability. And we're paying them the overtime as they get it. They're still getting the cash. I actually had one citizen call me this week and said if, they could just take that overtime money, put it in the bank. It's the same as if we're holding it. They could just take that overtime money out of their checks, put it in the bank to save it for a rainy day. The same thing. We also already have in place long-term disability if there's issues with our employees that get hurt. And that's on or off the job, correct?
Yes,
that starts at 6 months. And that's paid for by the city. We also have short-term liability or short-term disability, thank you, policy that the employees can get if they want. And I told you it's like 2.37 or 2.43. It's around 2.4% what their salary is. It's based on their salary if they want to buy that sort of insurance. But for those that have comp time, if they just bank just like what the citizen said, if they just bank those overtime hours, that's the same thing for them. It's a huge liability on the city that we really, really can't afford to keep on our books. And it needs to be taken care of, and we're planning on doing it during the budget for this year. The reason I'm bringing it to you all now is I told the department heads about it earlier this week, and we've had a couple employees that I know have emailed you all. And they emailed the TV station. I had one TV station call me. I explained all this. They go, oh, that makes sense. So I just wanted to let you know we value our employees. We're not taking a dime out of their pockets. We are just trying to fix accounting issues that are not sustainable. It's financially irresponsible to keep doing this. And that's, did I leave anything out?
Did you say they earn it at one rate, but they're gonna get paid?
Yeah, exactly. They earn it 1 year at a salary, and then if you wait 2 or 3 years to pay it back, you're paid a lot more money. So that's what I'm saying. Every year, it's been going up and up and up and up. So to clear both of these problems could be between $150,000 to $170,000 to fix this problem. This is something we can do out of fund balance. I believe that was everything I had on this. I'm looking to the back. Did I leave anything out? No. That's it. Does anybody have any questions on that? No. We will get more into this, obviously, like I said, when we get into the budget. But I just know the issue is out there now, so I wanted to make sure the council knew why we were doing this and what we're trying to do with it.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. We will move to item 8, old business, ordinance number 1126.
An ordinance adopted for the purpose of amending the City of Eastridge, Tennessee municipal zoning ordinance regulating development within the corporate limits of Eastridge, Tennessee to minimize danger to life and property due to flooding and to maintain eligibility for participation in the National Flood Insurance Program.
Thanks, sir. All right, this passed on the first reading. This will be the second and final reading. So I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1126.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1126.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Hilton and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Hilton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance number 1126 passed second and final reading. Next, we'll move to item B, ordinance number 1127.
An ordinance to amend the Eastridge zoning ordinance, Title 14, City of Eastridge zoning, Article 7, regulations for uses permitted on review, Section 113, radio, television, satellite, cellular, PCS, and microwave communication towers.
Thank you, sir. This passed on the first reading. This is actually the second and final reading. I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1127.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1127.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve ordinance 1127 by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Helton. Do we have any discussion? Yes, sir. Councilman Cagle.
On these towers, as they get put up, and as they sell rights to put their antennas on it, is the city going to be able to collect any revenue or franchise fees off of each individual tower? I mean, the antenna put up there, the towers.
While Kenny comes down here, we talked about this, and I believe there should be some franchise fee things associated with this, but most of these companies already pay a franchise fee to us, but these are also on EVP poles.
Yeah, that's correct. We don't own any of, when we're talking about the new style of cell towers and the microsites, so it's not generally what we're accustomed to in the past of the 100+ foot towers. Most of your providers already pay fees, but we're actually going through all of our franchise fees, and we have been for the last several months to make sure that everybody's paying appropriately, or and making sure that we have a franchise agreement on file.
And if it's on a electric pole, like an EPV pole, it's a pole attachment for them, and they're charging that company. They've already paid us right away. It's like paying little taxes, and one of those sort of fees. So you might not see something specifically from the cell company because unless they have to put a pole in that's on a right of way that's not attached to a utility pole, then there might be some sort of right of way charge.
Anything else? Councilman Cagle? Anyone else? Questions? I don't have a question, but I want to go ahead and thank Mr. Custer for giving me the information about the distance or the length of time that I questioned last time. I don't see any other questions, so roll call, Ms. Milton.
Vice Mayor Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Approved, second and final reading. We'll move into item 9A, resolution number 3043.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, awarding bids for the purchase of fire hose for the fire department.
Thank you, sir. I will entertain a motion for resolution number 3043.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3043.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion approved by Vice Mayor Helton and a second by Councilmember Chauncey. Do we have any discussion? Yeah, I was going to ask that. I don't think we had any.
In the memo that's the agenda memo that's with us, it mentions the fact that emergency vehicle specialists was the low bid at $11,979. That's who we recommend.
Let's ask Ms. Helton, I'm sure. Councilwoman Helton, if you would clarify your motion that we got, that you moved.
I made a motion to approve resolution number 3043.
In the amount of, I'm putting words in your mouth, I'm sorry. Put the amount of $11,979.
$11,979.
Thank you.
Mike, do you second that?
I'll second that.
Okay. Thank you. We just left out the reading of the amount and the actual vendor. All right. Thank you very much. Roll call, Ms. Milton.
Vice Mayor Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. This is a difficult night from all aspects. All right, we'll move to item B, resolution number 3044.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, awarding a bid for the emergency purchase of one heavy-duty trash brush loader, bulk trash junk body, mounted on a new cab and chassis. Knuckleman.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get this one right.
This was an emergency bid we did, obviously, to help us to facilitate with the cleanup. dealing with the tornadoes a week ago and all the heavy debris that I mentioned earlier that we are going to be picking up ourselves. The resolution for the knuckle boom truck, this is to approve the bid amount of $154,325 for a 2020 Peterbilt model from the Pete store. Now, there were 3 bids that we received that are attached here. The lowest bidder, Worldwide Equipment, didn't provide the supporting documentation so we could verify the body specifications. As you know, Mary, we've had instances before where we might have either gotten a truck or the specs might not have been correct on the truck that was purchased by the city. We've been trying to modify certain trucks, or trying to. Anyway, with this, we were not able to verify the specification that we were supposed to have with that. They also wanted, there were no exceptions listed to their bid. Usually there's at least a list of exceptions. The vendor wanted to update their bid at 11:45, their bid submittal that they had already turned in, but the actual bid was supposed to all be here by 10 o'clock. The second lowest bidder, Lee Smith, they couldn't provide any delivery on the equipment for at least 120 days. Well, that's not going to help us very much. The whole point of our emergency purchase is to get this truck as quick as possible to get it out on the streets to help get the debris up that we have. So for these reasons, the Pete store, we should be able to get this truck next week, or it's all going to depend on how long Diane takes to get the insurance on it and a license plate slapped on it.
That's right.
So with that, we determined that because of those reasons I mentioned, those are the lowest and best bid for the emergency purchase of this knuckle boom loader.
And that was, and if, I apologize if I failed, if you mentioned this and I missed it, but that was to replace one that was destroyed by fire. And we're also going to, we're anticipating a insurance check for the reimbursement.
Thank you, for approximately $78,000. So we're only, sorry to mention that, we're only having to pay the difference basically between the 78 and the 154.
Be about 75,500 to be taken from the fund balance.
Yes.
Yes, and that was an older 2006 truck, is that?
Yes, it was the old one.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3044.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3044.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Chauncey and a second by Vice Mayor Helton. Do we have any discussion?
On this bid form here, it says April 28th delivery day.
Yes.
Okay. And thereafter, then it's not here the 28th, and we start deducting $250. Okay.
Please. Yeah, let's confirm that. Councilman Chauncey, your motion to approve was the recommended.
I'm sorry, Mayor. My motion was to approve the amount of $154,325.
Right, purchasing from the Pete store.
Say it again.
And that was from the Pete store.
The Pete store.
That's the company.
That's the company that provided that price.
Yeah, I'll clarify that. My motion was to approve to purchase it from the Pete store for $154,325.
Thank you. And Vice Mayor Helton, just to confirm your second. Thank you. Any other discussions? Roll call, Ms. Middleton. Oh, I'm sorry.
Have the roll call first, and then I'll make a comment.
Okay. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt, yes, Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Williams,
Yes.
in the future when we have bids like this, does the council have a problem if in the resolution, since we're making this recommendation, if we put the name of the company and the amount, and if for some reason you disagree, you can amend the resolution? That makes it a lot easier. I don't know why. I've never seen it done this way, it just makes it a lot. We don't want to be presumptive, but we're making the recommendation. So it would seem that would be the amount we put in the resolution anyway, and then if for some reason you didn't like it, you could amend it at that point.
No problem with that.
Okay?
Council.
sense to me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have an addition that we added to the agenda. It's actually 9B, item 1. Under new business, it's resolution number 3045.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, adopting the Hamilton County Disaster Debris Management Plan.
Yes, sir. City Manager Dorsey.
Thank you, Mayor. I talked about this a little bit during my city manager report. Apparently, in 2018, there was a Hamilton County Disaster Debris Management Plan that was prepared by the Hamilton County Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security. This plan was put together with the cooperation of the county and all the municipalities in order to facilitate planning and have a mechanism in place to go, or a plan to go to in case you have an event just like what happened 2 weeks ago. But even if it was at a larger scale in the county, to have places to take your debris, places to be able to do all the things that need to happen with a disaster. I took a couple of the items out of what the purpose of the plan was: to provide organizational structure, guidance, and standardized procedures for the clearance, removal, and disposal of debris caused by a major debris generating event. Establish the most efficient and cost-effective methods to resolve disaster debris removal and disposal issues. Expedite debris removal and disposal efforts that provide visible signs of recovery designated to mitigate the threat to the health, safety, and welfare of Hamilton County residents. Coordinate partnering relationships through communications and pre-planning with local, state, and federal agencies involved with debris management responsibilities. And also, if needed, to implement and coordinate private sector debris removal and disposal contracts. This is supposed to help be a roadmap to help you through the event, for instance, that we just went through. I was told by Councilman Cable too that this was discussed some within the East Ridge City Council before, he thinks, but there might not have been an approval by the council on this. The city manager may have signed it. I don't know, but as far as I know, and as far as Hamilton County Emergency Management knows, they don't have a resolution from the City of East Ridge to approve this plan. But it was reviewed obviously back in 2018 by the staff here. I reviewed it some. I don't know it backwards and forwards because it's a very thick document, but I've scanned through it. One of the things in here it even talks about is in the event of a large-scale natural disaster, that Camp Jordan could be used as a possible debris holding site for the debris to be taken from places before it's either ground up or taken off to a secondary location afterwards. I was asked about that by a couple people, but that's great. You can move the debris, but right now we haven't approved it. So that's just another item on to make sure we do this. So I just think it's very imperative that we go ahead and approve the disaster debris management plan. It will also help us with the planning we're doing right now with TEMA. And they even highly recommended that we pass it.
All right. I'll entertain a motion for resolution 3045.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 3045.
Second.
We have a motion by Vice Mayor Hilton and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I see none from council. I have a question. I apologize since this came in late, but the exhibits in this are showing some fields and areas. Is this specifically designated for the holding point for this debris? And how does that impact it's been 2 years since this was prepared. Does that impede or impact any of the current fields and facilities? Again, I'm sorry, I just got this.
That's right. Mayor and Council, so we were involved in these discussions. This was part of like a 3-part document, and what we were able, we approved a document that was the hazard mitigation plan. We covered a lot of it. The debris management plan was like an appendice, so it was separate, but we worked on the document near the same time. The two places that are showing is one is basically all that surrounds the maintenance shed at Camp Jordan Park. That's one of the higher elevations as it relates to, you know, to water. Because if you get, obviously you get tornadoes and things like that, you're apt to get flooding, which is kind of what we had. But we've also talked to them about another opportunity, which would be to use a portion of the campground because it's already gravel. So they would be able to use and dump and then, you know, reload by using a road that's already there. Another part of it is because it's all done by contract, so the contracts will state that whoever uses the lot, basically under that contract, it has to be put back to the same or better condition, not when they're finished with it. So.
Okay, just one clarification, thank you. All right, like I said, we got a motion by Vice Mayor Hilton and a second by Councilmember Witt. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Hilton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution 3045 passed. We'll move into item C. It's a discussion for the tentative agenda items for the May 14th, 2020 council meeting. As I move into that agenda item, I see we'll have no old business, and at this point in time, no new business. Does anyone have anything that we need to address or add to the tentative agenda for next meeting? I see none. I appreciate everyone online participating. Again, we apologize. We've had some repeated technical issues here with the microphones. I hope everyone will stay safe, and we appreciate you. Hang in there. Things will become better. Thank you and have a good evening. Council members, please stay on. We have an executive session that we need to have after this council meeting ends. Meeting adjourned.